Get ready, because here's your host, Tyson Muturx.
Good morning and welcome back to the Guild Live show. I am really excited. We're coming off of an amazing MaxLawCon, and that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to go through the highlights from that. It kind of just blew me away, to be honest with you. The turnout, we were very, very pleasantly surprised with the number of people that showed up. We were a little concerned because it's been 3 years, right? It's been 3 years. Weren't super sure, how many people were going to come back, and it was incredible. It was an incredibly busy week for me. It took me until I probably didn't fully recover until yesterday, to be completely honest with you. It was one of these things where, all week. So we got there on Monday. So I'll kind of go through my week, and then we'll get to the actual, I'm going to pull up the agenda from the actual conference and go through. I can go through every single thing, but I'm going to go through some of the highlights of it. If I skip something that someone else thinks is amazing, it's not that I didn't think it was amazing. It's just, I just want to go through everything that's just kind of on top of my mind. But got there on Monday, had to do a little bit of prep still whenever we got there. And then on Tuesday, was just a recording day. We did some amazing episodes. I can't wait for some of those to come out. You all are really, really going to like them. So make sure you stay tuned for those. Those should come out in the next month or so. Really, really good. But that was 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. It was a long recording day. Great guest though. That made it a lot easier on me. And then we had on, I'm trying to think of like everything. So then that puts us into Wednesday. Wednesday was a mastermind day. Mastermind that was also incredible. We had 3 big groups, just lots of successful law firm owners that sharing their best stuff. That was awesome. I love my group. My group was incredible. Kevin Chaney, big thanks to Kevin Chaney and Christopher Nicolason. They ran the other two rooms. From what I've heard, did an amazing job. Big thanks to both of them, because they, for them to share their time, that's pretty awesome. Really appreciate that. And then Wednesday night, we had an awesome dinner. It was for mastermind attendees, guild members, and also speakers. That was a fun event too. It was a great, Becca did an amazing job. Well, really amazing job of the entire conference, getting everything organized, but also the restaurant she picked was really, really good. Excellent restaurant, awesome food, packed. It was a really packed spot. we were really tight in there. But also big thanks to my Amy. She did an awesome job helping out. We also have a Max Law Amy now, and she flew in to help out. So we have a newish employee. So big thanks to Max. I'm calling her Max Law Amy. So big thanks to Max Law Amy and my Amy. They both did incredible job while we were there. Then we get to Thursday. So Thursday was pretty awesome. I am also going to share, this is something kind of fun, what we've coined as Becca's rules for giving a great presentation. That's kind of a fun little thing, because she and I were talking about what makes a great presentation. And this is really what Becca came up with. Becca's rules for a great presentation. That's what we're calling it. So I'll give you some of those too. I'll give that at the end, but she nailed it. These are 100% right. So if you want to have a really good presentation, check out the rules, because 100% accurate. Let's get into day one though. And I started off the day. I talked about this a little bit at the conference, and I stayed behind the curtain. I had to give myself a little bit of space from everybody. I actually went and hid behind the curtain because I needed a little bit of time just to kind of get my bearings, because I was thinking about it back there, and I'm like, man, where this started, like how this started with me and Jim just on, some terrible equipment and, recording on Skype. And it was just, the stage was incredible. I mean, and the audience was incredible. And we had a bunch of bunch of sponsors, and it was so cool. It was such a bit of an overwhelming experience. And luckily I had a few minutes back there just to kind of like just being quiet in silence and just kind of, take some time to myself, because it was where we've started to where it's gotten is really awesome. So that was it was just coming out on stage was awesome. I gave I came out, and then Jane Muir was our MC, so I introduced her and she did just an incredible job. Thank you, Jane, for doing it. And we invited her to come back next year, so she's going to do next year's as well, which is pretty awesome stuff. I don't know if I'm supposed to tell that yet, but you're hearing her first. And then she introduced, so I came back out for my presentation, which was Strike Faster, and it was about really taking action. There's more to it. I'm not gonna go through the whole thing, and I don't know if at some point we might release the recordings and everything, but I enjoyed doing that one. I really did enjoy that one quite a bit. But it wasn't just about taking action. It's about moving faster and all that. And again, maybe I'll do a separate show just on that one by itself. And then Jim, what's funny is since I was hiding backstage, I didn't know, all right, when I walk off stage, am I going down the aisle or am I going back to where I was? And I had to go back to where it was because all my stuff was back there. So I had to get it and then go down the hallway. All I can tell you is I heard chaos. I heard Jim screaming and yelling. And I'm like, what in the hell? And it sounded like, I can't remember the guy's name, but from Saturday Night Live, the van down by the river, that guy, Foley, I think is his name, whatever it is. But he apparently, I talked to Jim afterwards, and I came around and got to see the end, or I guess not even the end, I probably missed 3 minutes worth. And I came in, I missed the part where apparently he had fallen to the ground on purpose and was giving basically a motivational speech at the very beginning. And then I got to see the rest of his. It was really, really good. His topic was falling up, which makes sense why he fell, right? And how our failures pave the road to success. It was a really good message. I really enjoyed that. A lot of people did. And everybody, if you've heard Jim speak before, you just know he's really good when it comes to being vulnerable and sharing. I am very good about putting up walls and trying to make things seem great. And I know that that's one of my flaws. It's also one of my strengths too. But Jim is very good about being vulnerable and bringing the walls down and sharing, failures and successes and how you overcome those failures. And he did a really good job of that. And I love that he doesn't hide from that. And that was really awesome. Devin, Slavonski, red flags, raves, and referrals, what we learned from calling every client. That was a really, really good one. Lots of great takeaways from that. Maybe what I will do, I was going to say, I'm not going to go through everyone. I'm just going to I'll hit some of the speakers, the titles, and if I have something to say, I'll add to it. Just so I didn't get to see every second of every single one, just because we were doing other things. Sometimes I had to do a little bit of prep for other things, and so I did miss parts of them. I did see at least a part of every single presentation, so I was in the room for vast majority of the time. But there were times where dealing with other things. But Steve McClellan's was Scorecards to Success, winning with associate attorney KPIs. It was a really good one because many people, they struggle with associate attorneys and they struggle with KPIs. That was a really, really good one. Rachel McGarry, really cool thing for her. 3 years ago, she was helping us. She volunteered to run the table at the front. And then this year she's actually speaking, really cool, at Amy McGarry's daughter. Rachel's with Cloud 925. Stop being a firefighter, start being an engineer. Really cool. I love the concept. She's working on some really cool things. I don't have permission to say what some of the things she's mentioning, but if I get her permission, I will mention some things she's working on. So I'll just kind of tease that. Charlie Mann, great speaker. If you run an event, ask Charlie to come speak. He has a wonderful stage presence. The $500,000 referral playbook, really awesome. That was an awesome one. The next one is So that was a really, really good one. Jason Selk, we brought Jason Selk back. That was awesome. He did an incredible job. If those of you that, I mean, getting Jason to speak is not the easiest thing. I'm telling you, it is not. Luckily, I've got a good relationship with Jason, and we were able to bring him back. That was a really big get for us. Burnout Proof, a live workshop on resilience for leaders. That was a cool one because the whole idea, Jason talks a lot about relentless solution focus and not focusing on the problems, but there are people that by the time they get to Maximum Lawyer, they're already experiencing burnout, or maybe they haven't followed many of the things that Jason talks about, and then they do get burned out. So we wanted to address that. We also want to address, okay, how do you make yourself burnout proof? And so it was really cool. So he gave some really good takeaways, like Jason does. He stops for a second, has you write things down. Brought Derrick on. That was cool. He brought me on. That was a lot of fun. That was a really, really good one. I really enjoyed that one. And then Tiffany, this is one where I'm fortunate enough to have spoken to Tiffany a couple times about this. One time, really, if you've not listened to the podcast episode between me and Tiffany, she goes in a lot more detail, but she gave a presentation, Built for the Storm, how to lead a law firm through uncertainty. That her story is incredible. Losing her law partner, who was really running everything, and then having to take over. And this is a person that was older than her, had more experience than her, and is then taking over the firm. That had to have been a really tough thing. And then to come out better on the other end of it it's incredible. So that story, really good presentation there. Then we had, Kevin Chaney, more than money, building a culture that wins loyalty and talent. Kevin, I mentioned him before. He helped run the mastermind rooms. Really good job, Kevin. That was awesome. Really good stuff. Him and his brother were there. It was awesome to see Kevin. And then we had Adam Rawson, how to build a high impact internship program. It's a really, really good one. I know a lot of you out there you want to have some sort of internship program, and this is he gives you a really good outline as to how to do it. We discussed it on the show as well, so you should check out that one as well. One of the ones I heard the most about. Okay. This is one that he was very nervous. I know this. Jeremy is someone that I coach. Jeremy Danielson, his AI board of advisors. This is such a cool thing. And he gave very specific details on how to do it. It was really good. It was so good. The value in this one alone, worth the attendance. It was awesome. Really, really good. So thanks for doing that, Jeremy. Thanks for being so open about it too. That was really good. No offense to any other speaker or anyone else, but my favorite one of the entire conference was Gary Falkowitz. And that was everything you must know to convert better than the big firms. Gary's presentation was great, but that wasn't my favorite part. And there was a part where I recorded, I don't want to misstate this. I'll just say that I think he's a part owner in Capture now. I think he did play a phone call that he had with an AI receptionist, which was really cool. I did record it. I posted it in the guild. I may have posted it in the big group too, in the big Maximum Lawyer group. But what my favorite part about this is that at the end, we surprised them. We went on stage, and I told everyone to be with Gary and had them, get their phones out and everything. But really, what it was is that for those of you who don't know, is that Gary had lost his 14-year-old son a couple of years ago, and he was hit by a drunk driver. Just a terrible, terrible thing. It was that this was really hard to get through with him at the end. When I went up there, he broke down. I broke down. I just couldn't. It was really hard, but we put a QR code on screen and we asked everyone to donate to the charity. And it was just a really cool moment. It really was. As I told him, it was one of those things where I wished we'd never had to do that. It's one of those things I'd much rather just, have Ethan back and not do something like that. But if we could do something, it would be that. But that was just, got to hug Gary, and that was like I posted about it on Facebook. It's like hugging Gary in that moment was just my favorite part of the whole thing. But I gotta keep moving, otherwise I'm gonna choke up again. But the ended the day with the AI workshop, and this was awesome. This was something that Swans, they're a company they build out AI systems for mega firms. Okay. It was interesting because I had met with them in advance, and they're like, they had slides with like 25 to $50 million firms. And we're like, man, maybe you take those out. Maybe you take those slides out. The people in the guild and the Maximum Lawyer, they're very successful people, but the vast majority of them are not 25 to $50 million. They're just not. Okay. So even in our massive survey that we did, I think we had one firm, maybe two, that was over 25 million. So that kind of gives you an idea as to how many people are in that range. They do, but they represent firms all over the world. That's one of the things that's why they deal with so many of those mega firms. But really cool. We had Max and Santiago. They came in. Santiago flew all the way in from Spain just to do this. It was incredible. We had a basics workshop and an advanced workshop. It started at 7:00. We got done probably, 9:15 that night. I was pretty spent by the time we were done, but it was they did an incredible job. They did also make a great offer to attendees. That was awesome for guild members. They're going to do 5 hours of group coaching for guild members just for free. It was really cool. So their company Swans, really awesome. They did an incredible job. And day two, we started with Regina Edwards, leveraging automation to improve client communication and satisfaction. That was really, really good. Regina Edwards came in to do that. Awesome. One of my other favorite presentations of the entire conference was, and I think I'm not alone in this, was Jeff Hampton's How to Double Your Law Firm's Revenue by Building a Brand on YouTube. Jeff Hampton's legit. He's got, his YouTube game is really, really strong. He also has a company, YouTube Rainmakers. We're going to bring Jeff back in June of next year. We already have something planned in Scottsdale. Otherwise we would do it in February, but we're going to do something in June of next year in Chicago, where we're going to do a workshop on YouTube, and that'll give us plenty of time to prep for that. And he and I talked at the conference about this and what that might entail. It's going to be pretty detailed, and that's going to be a lot of fun. So we're going to do that one. Yeah, I wish we could do that one sooner, to be honest with you, but it's going to be awesome. And then we have Danny Decker. Danny Decker came in with Spotlight Marketing and branding, 3 practical steps to attract better clients to your law firm. Really, really good one. Danny's, a really big name. Really, he's got a great podcast. Then you have Brooksy Derrick, and this is one, Do What the Robots Can't. Really good one. And his was great. He had a really good moment. Hopefully, Brooks, you don't mind me sharing this, but he had a really good moment with the cameraman afterwards, because the cameraman had mentioned that he had a case, and he's like, and this is how relatable Brooks is and how great Brooks is. The guy's like, I really wish I would have had you as my lawyer, talking about Brooks. And I'm not surprised by that, because Brooks is just fantastic. He was talking about, that personal connection with your clients. Excellent stuff there. Then you had Ruma Mazumdar. I'm sorry, I struggle with her last name. So Ruma is amazing. Really, really good. The Virtual Scale Blueprint from Solo Attorney to CEO. Really, really good one. She was also on the show. Most of these people have been on the show. Ryan Weber, Smart People, Dumb Excuses. That was also a really, really good one. I got a fun picture with Ryan. I texted it to him, I think yesterday. He's a giant and I'm small. Like, his joke was bring your kid to work day. It was kind of funny. But then we had Heather Olson, Turning Swag into Swagger. That was also really another good one. So a lot of people like to have swag. That was a really good one on swag. Then we had a partners panel. Oh my gosh, this was freaking hilarious. Ryan Locke was the host, and this was kind of like the newlywed game is what this was. This This was so fun. So you had Jordan Ostroff, Heather Ostroff, you had Adam Williams, Jackie Williams, you had Tiffany Weber and Ryan Weber, and they competed. And it's kind of like, if you're familiar with the Newlywed Game, we even had the music, we even had a scoreboard. That was a lot of fun. Tiffany and Ryan ended up winning that by 5. They ended up making a comeback. Jordan and Heather had a really good start. They were off to a pretty strong lead. I thought they were going to dominate it. And then, the Williams family and the Weber family, they caught up. And the Williamses, they were pretty consistent throughout, like right there, almost there. Almost, I think at one point they might have tied for the lead. And then the Webers end up pulling it out at the end. So really good job. That was a lot of fun. That was a lot of potentially compromising questions that they escaped, and that was good. And then you had Alexis Austin. Well, I guess Alexis Austin Little. I can't shorter on that because they did get married, I want to say fairly recently, within the last couple of years, her and Jimmy. Why your parents are responsible for the lack of success in your firm and how to fix it, which is so good. Why your parents are responsible for the lack of success in your firm and how to fix it. Really good. That one's on the nose. That one's hits you right on the nose. That's a good presentation. And then you had Matthew Kurbis, I'd say another, professional speaker type, latent legal market opportunities with AI and subscriptions. Really, really good one. Matthew, or he goes by Kurbis, he says. So Kurbis, I'm gonna start calling him Kurbis. Kurbis, he talks a lot about subscription models. That's his big thing. I think he even goes by the subscription attorney. I may be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he does. John Corman, oh my gosh, this presentation, it was awesome. Master your energy. Forget about managing your time for ultimate productivity and satisfaction. Really, really good one on managing your energy levels. Awesome. That was a really, really good one. And, it wasn't like the fruit for energy stuff. He actually brought science with it. Chelsea Williams, oh my gosh. Some of you all by now have probably seen the money gun, and it's such a cool idea. She walked up with shooting money out, and then she had people following her, like handed, like throwing, it was fake money, but throwing out like fake $100 bills. The Rise Up guys, who are our title sponsor, they did. I've got to talk to them and see how things went when it comes to, they were going to take that money and prank some people. I thought it was a pretty good idea. I do want to see if they got any videos of pranking people with those $100. But Chelsea's was, think like a CFO, the financial framework every law firm needs. That was awesome. It was really good. She was so strong on stage. I told her, I was like, man, that was incredible. Because she is, I meant to ask her if she had gotten any like coaching on speaking or training, because really good, really strong speaker. And the way her body movement was, it just seemed like she's either practiced a lot or she's gotten some training. It was really good. So if you see that one, watch that one, because it was really, really good. And then we ended up with Sonia Lakhani, who just crushed it. Unbillable brilliance, monetizing your legal knowledge online. That was awesome. Really, really good. And then we ended up ending the day with some giveaways. But with Sonia's, if you plan on doing any sort of online product, selling an online product, even if you don't, really, really good, because a lot of things that she talked about can apply to legal services and how you present those and sell those. Really, really, really good. That was awesome. It was oh my gosh, incredible conference. It was the best well-run we've had up to this point. Just Becca and Amy did just a phenomenal job getting this thing, at the conference, running it. And then much of Becca's prep for it was incredible. One of the things I'd mentioned to somebody else is that there were some things I'd mentioned to Becca that I really wanted, that I thought maybe she didn't hear me. Like, it's one of those things where I kind of said it, and we hadn't mentioned anything, and I was like, I would go to say, hey, did you get? Yep, I already have it. I was like, it was incredible. It was like, oh, it's there, it's done. We've got it. It was awesome. Some of the things we didn't use, I wanted walkie-talkies. We had walkie-talkies, didn't end up using them, but they were there whenever we needed them, and for when we need them in the future. We'll certainly have those. But it's really incredible. Really great job. Jeremy says, nerves, what nerves? I mean, I'm going to call you out. If you text me during the show, I'm going to, it's right here in front of me, because I had to bring up Becca's rules. So Jeremy says, nerves, what nerves? So you're welcome for the shout out. Great seeing you, man. Yeah. He also said your Whoop number suggested a crash after Nashville. Absolutely. if you want to be in our Whoop group, that would be awesome because our Whoop group is amazing for Max Law. It's only for guild members though. So, all right. So let's talk about what makes for a good presentation, great presentation. So Becca's rules for a great presentation. I'll do this really quick. 1, legitimate, actionable content. So legitimate, actionable content. Can you do it tomorrow? Or let's say it's a Friday. Can they implement this Monday? Okay, that's really good. Number 2, tie in a personal experience. So is this something that you have done, or are you just generally talking about? So you have personal experience with it. 3, presented in a storytelling way. So telling stories, really, really important part of this. Number 4, it makes the audience feel something. So you gotta get the feels. And it's kind of like the Disney thing, at any given point, Disney in a movie, they want people to be laughing or crying. That's so the feels. So legitimate, actionable content, tie in personal experience, presented in a storytelling way, and it makes the audience feel something. So that if you want a recipe for a great presentation, that is it. Promise you. All right. That is all we have for today. Thank you for joining me. We'll see you all next week. See you, buddy.
Real quick, before you head out, have you checked out the Guild yet? If you've been listening to this podcast or hanging out in the Maximum Lawyer Facebook group, you've probably heard us mention it. But if you haven't taken the next step, let me tell you, you're missing the best part of this community. The Guild is where law firm owners like you go to level up. It's not just more content. It's a powerful mix of weekly live trainings, group coaching, accountability, and a tight-knit community of people who actually get what you're building. You'll be able to tap into real conversations with people who are in the trenches with you, scaling their firms, testing ideas, solving problems, and growing fast. If you're serious about building a firm that runs like a business and not just a job, this is where you want to be. Go to maxlawguild.com and take that next step. We'll see you inside.